you know, it'll be interesting, guys, for sure. Hey, so I'm live. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. This is really exciting because we're talking all about email overload, which how many people deal with. It's pretty nutty, right? So this is pretty good. So I think hopefully you guys, I'm talking to Facebook, I'm talking to YouTube. This is really fun. Hopefully everyone who joins the program will get something out of it. I know too well the struggle of email overload. It really can feel something of just distress in your life. It can feel a little bit like you're just never getting ahead, right? Because what happens, you finish today, and then what's going to happen tomorrow? You're going to have more email, right? So my solution, I have a couple of solutions that I think are going to really help you. And so hopefully you can apply, you can execute, and you can spread the knowledge so that you alone are not just struggling with this, but that you get some other people to help follow along on this process. Because why is it important to deal with email overload? A couple of reasons. It's stressful. And, if you want your work to not feel essentially like it is something that is a burden to you, then you're going to want to figure out process, right? So Mark Mona says people, product, process, right? Which is super, super key. And it's because it allows you to really focus and do what you need to do with a system in place that's going to make it easier to be more productive. It's going to be easier to get the emails out there, and it's going to be easier to effectuate the job that you're trying to accomplish. So that's the importance of dealing with email overload. If you have specific questions, problems, please, if you're here on Facebook, if you're here on YouTube, make sure that you put them in. I have my keyboard. I'm able to respond. And this is really, really interesting. It's like, I don't know if anyone else has done it, but also just side note, if you live on multiple platforms at the same time, love to hear your thoughts on that, because this is kind of fun. So thank you again for anyone who's tuning in on the live and anyone who's watching on the replay. And with that, I think it's time to get started, guys. So hello, hello, hello. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Dressing Room 8, which is a platform that does several different things. So first, it's all centered around these three concepts. First, we need to think with clarity, we need to dress with confidence, and we need to live with purpose. And so I put out content, whether through my blog, through live streaming, through in-person conversations that I do, through workshops, webinars, all of that good stuff, all around the idea of empowerment for your personal and professional lives. And so this conversation, what are we talking about today? We're talking all about email overload, because like I said, I think there's very few people on this planet who do not deal with this. I myself included, right? I could never talk on something that I myself am not dealing with. So email overload, let's get into it. What essentially can you do to get over email overload? I have 6 simple steps. I think when we go through them one by one, you'll realize just how simple, just how awesome these are. And then you'll be able to what? To execute. Execution is how we eliminate habits that are getting in our way. Execution is how we're able to change our life. And it's also how we can be more productive and hopefully what? Make more money, be more happy. I don't know, things like that. Kind of cool, right? So let's get to it. 6 ways to deal with email overload. Number 1, acknowledge that it's happening. So the biggest thing with problems is what? People try to bury them. People try to not acknowledge that there is one. Guys, the jig is up, right? Like let's call a spade a spade. I love to say that phrase, because we all are overwhelmed with email. We're overwhelmed with the amount of content coming through to us through email, through newsletters, through social media, right? Across the board. You have people talking to you, you're trying to read something, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of content that is flowing through us, out of us, around us, all around the way. So first and foremost, if you're overwhelmed with email, raise your hand. Raise your hand, because it's happening. It's happening. It's happening in my life. I know it's happening in your life. Just acknowledge it, because once you acknowledge a problem, what can you do? You can put a plan in place to eliminate and reduce the issue. So acknowledgement, acknowledgement, acknowledgement is absolutely the first problem the first thing that you have to do for this issue. Second, think about and assess how are you using your time when it comes to email, right? So from sun up to sundown, you will be getting emails, hopefully, right? If not, you might not want them, but sun up through sundown, right? 12 a.m., 12 a.m., they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. But does that mean that you need to be up from the beginning of the day to the end of the day looking at email? No, that's neither productive, nor will you ever get through it, because as you finish off the first 100, guess what? 101 pop through, 110 pop through. It's like blood, oxygen. It's just constantly flowing. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So what do you need to do? You need to say, pause. I will look at email from this time to this time, and then maybe take a break and come back to it. Some people do email one time in the day. They will hit it maybe 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then that's it. Some people are like, okay, I'll do a little bit in the morning. I'll do a little bit in the evening and call it that way. You, my lovelies, have to decide what works best for you. So I can give you my recommendation personally, because I think email can get really stressful really quickly, because what's attached with an email? Attached with an email comes obligations, things you want to do, people you want to reach out to, and it can just kind of bubble into this bigger thing than you even knew it was going to be. So it's usually easier to not necessarily start the day with email, because it puts you in a reactive state for the rest of your day, as they say, right? Not to check social media the first thing, which is something I'm trying to accomplish, but I've been doing it for so long, so it's challenging. But I see why it's better not to, because it, again, puts you in a state that you don't want to be. You want to be proactively deciding what you're doing, not reactively responding to what's happening, right? There's a difference between proactive and responsive, right? So I suggest maybe putting email between like 12 and 4 or 12 and 2. How much time you want to designate is totally up to you. And then what do? Then once your hard deadline is here, we move on, and we move on to the next chapter of the day. And if you are a person who says, okay, I'll do midday and evening, then again, you circle back in the evening. And if you are like, nope, I'm doing one session per day, then you stick to it. You stick to it. Like if you don't stick to it, you'll fall off a cliff. All right. Is that serious enough? Yeah. You've got to be very hardcore with yourself on this, because the more forceful you are with yourself on this, the easier it is to follow through. And then you will not be mad when you stick to the plan and it works and you keep moving. But if you go off on other realms and you're like, oh, well, I said 12 to 2, but I really mean 2 to 4. And now I mean 6 to 8. You'll feel swamped and overwhelmed. And that's what we're talking about, how to not feel this way. So first, acknowledge you have an issue. I am overwhelmed with email. Okay. Next, solution time, right? What are we going to do about it? Well, first, time. How am I designating my time? We have Sunday through Sunday. Do you want to check emails on the weekend, or are you a Monday through Friday person, right? Decide which days of the week you're checking and which time per day you're checking. And maybe you can't afford to do it at the same time every single day. So maybe Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays is 12 to 4, and Tuesday, Thursday is, maybe 11 to 3, and then Sundays, Saturdays, maybe 12 to 4, right? Like you pick your times, pick your days, put it in your calendar, put the color block in. Email only, right? We're not emailing, but then also making calls. And because if you're going to get I know people say, oh, multitasking is great. You can only do one thing at one time, right? So do your one thing and get through it and feel very accomplished and focus and be more productive than trying to half-ass multiple things at the same time. All right. So that's that. Acknowledge, then use your time appropriately. It's pretty easy, right? If you have comments or questions and thoughts, guys, I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube Live. Come on in. Come on in. Let your girl know. That's what I'm here for, right? Because this is a serious issue, but it's something that we can have fun in, and it's something we can talk about, and then we can go swimming after. So yay! It's all good stuff. All right. Next, accept your reality, right? So I think the biggest thing that I have found that's helpful with dealing with email overload, just daily inbox filling in, right? Because we have several emails sometimes, right? For me, as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, I have emails coming in through the Dress and Remake platform. I'm also a podcaster, so I have a whole other separate platform with that, with emails that come associated with that. Guess what? I'm also a human being before I started my business. So I have my personal emails coming in, which, woo, lots of emails in there. Years ago, I stopped stressing that because I said, okay, this is nonsense. They want to hit me up in my Google email, my Gmail, like thousands. So that's okay. So accept the reality that you're going to get more email than you probably want, right? And once you understand the rules of engagement, then what? You can play the game, right? So you're going to get more emails than you probably want. You're going to get more junk emails than you probably want. But are you hitting the reality of how many emails or the types of emails you want to hit every day? Sometimes quantity is not necessarily the best standard of kind of review here for you, because maybe it's not about, oh, did I hit 50 emails, but it's more like, did I hit every email attached to an opportunity to make money, attached to the opportunity to sell something, attached to the opportunity to speak at something, right? So it's not really about quantity here. It's about quality. It's about quality of work and the quality of responses you're getting out in time. So accept the reality of like what's happening, and then what is the type of emails you need to be hitting on a daily or weekly basis that you get out there, right? And that's okay. And for things that get left over or put over to the next day, that's okay. Like, you have to be okay with that, because if you're okay with that, then what does that mean? It means you're not shaming yourself about having leftover email, which if you're like a perfectionist, or which is terrible, right? Because what's the problem with perfection? It's a fiction, doesn't exist. So you're essentially fighting to have a standard to achieve something that doesn't exist. That's quite challenging. And also, if you're a workaholic, right, you'll see the inbox in numbers increasing, and you'll be like, oh, I have to hit this. Oh, I have to hit this. You need to finish what you set out to finish and move on. That's what you need to do. Okay. So acknowledge, use your time appropriately, accept the reality that is. And this is key, guys. This is the number, like if you were tuning in waiting for like the one piece of advice that really, really most mattered, this is it, guys. I hope you're ready. Woo, 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 woo. All right, you're ready. Prioritize your emails, right? In life, can we do everything at once? No, we have to prioritize, right? When you have to get up and run to pee, you get up and run to pee. You don't like try to start cooking and try reading and then also spend time with the hubby or the spouse at the same time, right? No, you put that stuff to the side and you say, all of that comes after I pee. So the same way that you will prioritize for bodily function, I'm urging you to look at your email box and say, cool, I have 200 emails to check. It's fine. It's okay, right? 200, 2,000, 2 million, doesn't matter. What do I need to check? Well, I need to actually open and respond to emails that give me money. I need to respond to emails that are time sensitive. I need to respond to emails that are opportunity delivering opportunities, right? I need to respond to emails that are confirming appointments for this week or this day, right? Prioritize. What are the things that actually have to happen today versus the things you want to do, right? Need and wants are two separate concepts, two separate streams of things happening here. So when you can prioritize and you can flag the things that maybe you'll come back to because you're like, this is not really a need, this is a want. Cool, I'll hit this on Wednesday. You can even go in your calendar and say hitting flagged emails on Wednesday, right? And you can even designate your days of like when you're doing priority emails versus want emails or secondary priority emails, right? So that's super, super key. But I tell you, for all entrepreneurs, for all creatives, for all people interested in starting a side hustle, if you are looking to build a brand for yourself, it is important to create a solid strategy. Yes, Khalil, to prioritize, #prioritize your emails, because they will keep flooding your inbox. They will come like the river runs wild in this world, right? But you have to deal with certain benchmarks along this river. You don't have to deal with the whole river at once, because guess what? It's not happening. You could, in theory, depending upon who you are and what you do in this world, you could be getting thousands of emails per email account you have. you're unlikely to get through it, but you can probably get through maybe 20 to 50, right? Or 100, depending upon what your support team is and your admin support and all of that. And at the end of the day, did I email everyone I needed to email today so that I could make more money, so that I could schedule the appointments, so that I could schedule things to go speak at, right? Like, did I do what I needed to do to further my life, to further my business? If so, job well done. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Okay? So prioritize. Prioritization is key here. You got to prioritize. So that's like the biggest way to deal with email overload. Next, 2 more steps, guys. Super, super simple. And then we'll recap this and I'll give you a little bit of words of wisdom. And then we're out of here because it's Saturday. Y'all have things to do. I have things to do. I need to go swim. I usually do these before I go swimming. If you're new to the platform, you'll see a lot of that now, being that I'm now on the West Coast. I thoroughly enjoy the sunlight and I thoroughly enjoy swimming. So thus you'll always see me kind of in a Hawaiian shirt or some free-spirited outfit waiting to go jump in a pool of water. Next tip. We only have 2 left, guys. Okay. Next one, set expectations with your recipients. I think this is really key. And sometimes it doesn't always work out. Just recently this week, I set expectations and the receiving end wanted even more clarity, which was surprising. But again, everyone has different email etiquette. So you respond professionally and you keep it moving. But what do I mean by set expectations? So do you ever get an email where you contact someone and then you get an automatic response email saying, thank you for emailing X person. You will hear from this person in 48 hours, right? Yeah. So some of you may or may not like that email. I think from a logistical perspective, because it's another thing I have to like archive or delete, I just don't like the logistics of it. But I appreciate the strategy that went behind it. Why? Because I know that I sent this email to this person and they are telling me what? That within 48 hours, within 28 hours, with whatever time frame they gave me, that this will be responded to, that this matter will be resolved within X amount of hours. Why is that important? So that the person doesn't continue contacting you in the interim because you already set out the boundary. Nope. I will get to you in X time. Super important. Why? Because people forget that they think you're working on their time instead of your own time. We are all working on our own time, on our own time schedule and planning. So you might want me to respond immediately, but if I sent you an email saying, hey, boo, I'll get back to you in the next 3 to 5 days, you dang well know I will get back to you in the next 3 to 5 days. And so personally, I don't send those out, those automatic ones. What I do is in my general emails, I just prefer to give people a timeline within the email response. Instead of having multiple emails go out, I just say, okay, thank you, responding to the email. And then in there say, like, for instance, I have contributors, right? They'll submit blog posts. I'll say, I will let you know when this is live later this month or later this month, next month, right? People sometimes want real clarity. They're like, well, will it be live on this day? You know, and you have to make that judgment call as to how much information you're going to reveal. But at the bare minimum, I think when people are getting back to you, you get back to them and you say, awesome, I will respond on next time. So that's another really key tip in creating healthy email boundaries, so that what? You start to kind of dampen the amount of flow coming through when it comes to the amount of emails you receive every day. So I hope that's really helpful for you. And if it's not something that you do, you can start executing on that today. So amazing. Yes, yes, yes. So next tip, simple, really simple. What does it look at? What does it entail? I need you to go back and just take a look, monitor. You acknowledged your problem. You've set the time in your calendar as to when you're checking emails, and you're actually sticking to that schedule that you put in place. You're accepting the reality of like, this nonsense is just going to keep going. And it's good. It's good. It's good. People want to talk to you. People need you. Yay, yay, yay. But I know it's a lot. You're prioritizing, #prioritize the amount of emails you're responding to and who you're getting back to. You set expectations with people. And when you are executing on all of this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, I'd like for you after 30 days to look, to pause, right? Because like corporations, how they do monthly and weekly reporting, guys, you are the CEO of your life, right? Like, I hope so. If you're not the CEO of your life, y'all need to tell me, and then we need to do a whole other live on that. But if you agree, I agree that you're the CEO of your life, I agree that I'm the CEO of my life, then what does that mean? We need to do reporting. We need to do a lot of analysis, and we need every 30 days, take a step back and say, how did this month go with email? Right? So maybe you executed, but maybe you didn't do all of the steps. Maybe you did like 3 of the steps, and you're like, I could be better. I didn't prioritize enough. Execute starting that day, and move through the next day, right? And then take a look at the next 30 days. How did it differ? Was it better? Was it worse? And adjust. Maybe you need to adjust the amount of time you're giving to the emails you're checking. Maybe you need to adjust who you're prioritizing when responding in your emails. But you need to monitor and assess and then adjust. Okay? And that's it. Those are the 6 simple steps to dealing with email overload. I got my notes. I'm here to give you a little bit more, a couple of words of wisdom. So I hope you kind of jot these down, and feel free to tweet, share them out, all of that good stuff. Here we go. 3 things to talk about. First, there is a book on the My Recommendations page at dressingroom8.com that I can definitely put in the comments at the end of this and share this with you. You will love it. I listened to the audiobook, but you can totally get the book. It's however you like to consume content. It's called They Can't Drive You Crazy If You Don't Give Them the Key. So at the end of the day, what this book is about is dealing with difficult personalities and dealing with the idea that no one can drive you crazy unless you give them the keys. So if you agree to that statement, then you will agree to wanting to definitely read this book, check out the audiobook, and understand that when it comes to email, you cannot be driven crazy by email unless you allow all the inbox coming through to really upset you and kind of fluster you and make you feel overwhelmed, right? This is something that you would be allowing in your life. So if you make a stance and say, hey, nope, I will no longer be stressed. I will no longer feel overwhelmed. I will no longer be a victim to my slave to my inbox, then that's the premise you take. That's where you're at with this process. All right. So just take that declaration of where do you stand with this? Are you the CEO of your life? Are you in charge of your email and getting in control of it? If so, you are absolutely going to take steps today, not tomorrow, not someday, because someday is not a day in the calendar, but today. You can get in line with yourself and make a decision to get in charge of this and get on top of it, because the better your process, the more productive, the more money, opportunity that you can invite and create and manifest in your life. So it's super important, guys. Next, be patient. I have realized that the more patient I am with myself, with others, with the process, calmer I am with this. But when you're impatient, when you're on edge, and it's super easy for some of us. I'm a Virgo, guys. I'm always on edge. Talk to Khalil. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just my personality. I'm just always on edge. But I take deep breaths. Take another deep breath, guys, with me. Yes, so calm. Oh, that was just relaxing in and of itself right there. So be patient, right? As you go through this, is it going to be easy? Yeah. Right. I would urge you to think of it as easier than you might be thinking of it, because the more that you build something up as a monster in your head, the harder it is to defeat. So email, it's just words on your screen, guys. It's not the end of the world, right? You're going to hit the emails, you're going to get through it, you're going to get to who you need to get to, and some things may get lost in the process, but at the end of the day, everything that's for you will happen. Nothing can stand against you, right? And you are in charge of your success and your future, and you're taking steps every day to improve and execute and improve and execute. It's okay. It's going to be okay, right? Deep breath. Patience. Patience is key. Patience is a word that I hated growing up. It was like, hated it. I understand. I understand what my parents were trying to teach me. I understand what teachers were trying to teach me. You've got to be patient. You've got to ride this out. And the more that you can kind of master this and master your email and master your process, you're badass. You're going to rock this. You're going to rock the system, guys. But you've got to ease into this and be patient. Maybe you have a great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sucks. That's okay. Be patient. Ask yourself why. Why did I procrastinate? Why did I mess up my schedule? Deep breaths, get it together, move through. Friday, here we go. Let's pick it back up and keep moving. We've got to be patient. And I say be patient with others because, like I said, sometimes y'all are going to get some crazy emails. I have found people will speak crazy to you sometimes because they are either ignorant of the fact that you haven't made it clear to them how you need to be treated and or spoken to, and you will clarify in your response and you'll clarify and how to move forward in the future. But sometimes you have to also be patient because you're going to get some crazy emails, you're going to get some inappropriate emails. Be patient, respond, and make it crystal clear how people need to speak to you in this world, and keep it moving. All right. Last words of wisdom. Oh my God, we're nearly at the end of this, guys. So sad. Is focus on your solution. Focus. When you are going through this and you maybe have a stumbling block, maybe you are struggling with one of the steps. Why? The question of why is so important. I still have my foothold in like tutoring and education and teaching and stuff like that. And what I have found key to kind of academic success that has led into kind of professional success is asking yourself why is probably one of the most important questions you'll ever ask yourself in your life, right? Why do I feel this way? Why did I do this? Why did this person upset me so much? Why matters. The why always matters. It is more important than actually the outcome for which that happened. It's really the why. What went into this that created that outcome, right? And so when you are succeeding, why did I succeed? Oh, because I did all the steps. Woohoo! Why did I struggle? Because I did one of the steps. That's okay. You have clarity. Why? I urge you, if you have to ask yourself one question every day, you have to ask yourself why. Why am I doing this? Why do I want this? Why do I have this person in my life? Why? The question of why is like quintessential. So stay focused on the solution. And the best way to do that is to ask yourself that why question. Why did this happen? Why did I do this? Why? All right. And if you have additional questions with this or any of the steps involved that I talked about for how to overcome email overload, you know what you guys need to do? It's super simple. Go to dressingroom8.com. Let me put that in the comments. In both I'll do that at the end for the YouTube live and then as well as the Facebook live. It's simple. Go to dressingroom8.com and you can schedule a session to talk with me for free. And we can talk about your specific challenges or obstacles that you're dealing with so that you can not only overcome email overload, but the why, right? What's driving the challenge and the obstacle at this moment, right? Let's tackle this together. You don't have to struggle alone. I don't want you to. I want to be a support system for you. So let me help you, and you'll do it. And we can work through this together. And guys, I'm out here doing the same thing, having these same conversations, asking myself these same questions because it's so necessary for me to succeed as well as to give you what you need. So why am I struggling? Let's tackle it. Let's get through this. All right. Next, if we aren't connected, I would really love to eradicate that problem today. So I'm here live on YouTube. Guys, follow the Dressing Your Mate channel. I really would love for you to stay tuned and press the little bell button so you get notified for all upcoming videos, and you can comment. You can come in. Let's have a conversation here. My Facebook family, y'all know how many times I come up on here and do lives. Let's chat. If you aren't following the Dressing Your Mate Facebook page, please like and follow it today. Please share this video with at least 2 people you think that could benefit from this conversation. You could also tag them here in the comments, right? And make sure that they come in and do what they need to do, ask any questions, say their piece on this topic, because Lord, I have felt the sting of email overload, and I imagine you have as well. So let's support each other in this together. And then lastly, I'd love for you to subscribe to the Dressing Your Mate blog so that you get up-to-date notifications in your email as to when we have a new post. And then you can sign up for the Dressing Your Mate newsletter there as well at dressingroom8.com. And with that, I thank you for tuning in and participating in this wonderful live, double live situation that we did. I've never done, like I said, a Facebook and YouTube together. So I'm really liking this. I think I'm going to definitely stick with this new progression. Hopefully, if you guys enjoyed it, I would definitely love to. And if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to come in the comments. I see them and I'm happy to respond. Okay. So what did we learn today? We learned that email overload is not a death sentence. It is not something you have to deal with forever. It is just something that requires strategy. And if you missed the tips that were shared, gotta watch this on the replay and watch and execute. And if you have questions, bring me in. Let's talk about it. But outside of that, I'd love for you to join our next upcoming live. So just go to dressingroom8.com. You see all of my events for this month, the rest of the year. I like to plan my life 6 months in advance. So as much as I can put out and tell you what I'm doing, you can join me for this wonderful ride. So with that, I'm going to say bye. Let's see who I do first. All right. So we're going to Facebook, YouTube. Let's see. Who do I do first? I don't know. We'll see if we can do it at the same time. All righty. Okay. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon for the next live. Woo!